आर वी लाइव? आर वी लाइव? थोड़ा मैंने नोटिस किया है कि मेरा जो स्ट्रीम है वो बीच बीच में थोड़ा ब्लर हो जाता है, फिर बीच में थोड़ा अच्छा हो जाता है, मतलब फॉर सेकेंड्स, लाइक 2 सेकंड के लिए। तो मैंने आई लुकड इट अप ऑन यूट्यूब एंड थोड़ा फिक्सिस किया है, बट देखता हूँ मैं कैसे होता है। और नॉइस सप्रेशन का भी फिल्टर डाला है मैंने माइक में, तो देखते हैं भी क्या होता है। सो वेलकम, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम पार्ट 2। दिस इज द सेकंड टाइम आई एम स्ट्रीमिंग। इट्स 2:45 AM राइट नाउ एंड प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट करने वाला था, थोड़ा वैलोरेंट वैलोरेंट खेल लिया। अब सोच रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा पढ़ लूँ। पैट ऑन द बैक अगेन फॉर मी, क्योंकि मैं आ गया। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट, शैल वी? ऑलराइट, ये देखो, यही मैं देख रहा था थोड़ा।
Hello,
ओके,
must have I.
किधर है किधर है? ओके, हियर इट इज।
In this video, I'm going to show you how to build the most interesting, fun, yet simple Python project that you
आप देख लेते हैं क्या पहले खुद का क्या है, कैसा साउंड आ रहा है, न्यू साउंड कैसा आ रहा है?
I'm going to show you how to build the most interesting.
ओके
Must have I.
ओके, ये देखो, यही मैं देख रहा था थोड़ा।
Hello,
ओके,
must have I.
किधर है किधर है? ओके, हियर इट इज।
In
ठीक है, तो अभी वो पंखे का आवाज़ आ नहीं रहा है इतना। लेट्स सी कि जो कीबोर्ड का आवाज़ आता था पहले वो आ रहा है क्या। लेट्स सी।
in this
तो अभी वो पंखे का आवाज़ आ नहीं रहा है इतना। लेट्स सी कि जो कीबोर्ड का आवाज़ आता था पहले वो आ रहा है क्या। आ रहा है। अब मजा आएगा ना भिड़ू।
Hey everyone,
चलो लेट्स
welcome back to
स्टार्ट।
another video, and in this video we are going to look into conditionals and loops in Java.
क्या
So
करूँ,
when we
लाइट
were
बंद कर
learning
दूँ क्या?
about flowcharts, we saw that you take input and output, you do some processing, and you have some conditions as well. We have already seen about input output. We have already seen a little bit about like processing, like a is equal to a plus 1, c plus plus, b plus plus, or whatever. If you are just starting out, do check out the links in the description. There's an entire Java DSA playlist. So this is a video part of that, and you can check out all the videos in that playlist. The link is in the description. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and let's get started. So let me create a new project in Idea. We have done a tutorial on this already. You can find the link in the description for the playlist. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to say next from command line, like from the
स्ट्रीम क्वालिटी चेक कर रहा हूँ कैसी है। आई थिंक इट इज स्टिल द सेम 7, और हैज इट वर्सन इनफ? हैज इट वर्सन अप? आई थिंक इट इज द सेम, एटलीस्ट ये ज़्यादा पकड़ना चाहिए। ड्रॉप्ड फ्रेम्स, ड्रॉप्ड स्टूडियो मोड क्या होता है? ओ माय गॉड। एनीवे, देखते हैं कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या आउटपुट। स्ट्रीम, हम्म, Yasin. Hmm. Fuck it, man. Fuck it. I'm done. बस हो गया भाई. चालू करते हैं without wasting any more time.
Template. Let me just create a lecture number 6, which is conditions and loops. Code. Open. com.kunal. Finish.
WordPress is big, flexible, but complex. With Hostinger, it's never complicated. My name is Alex.
भगा भगा के देंगे जो आता रहेगा नहीं करेंगे.
Pretty cool. All right. Opening it up over here. That looks good. So let's first look at the conditions part. Okay, the if conditions. What are conditions? Now, what is a condition? Okay, let's see. Why would we require such things? So basically, let's say you want to, in our previous example, that input a salary, and if the salary is greater than 10,000, give a bonus.
दिक्कत क्या है सबको भाई. मेरी माँ बस चिल्लाने ना लग जाए मेरे पे भी. क्या करने वाला था वो भी भूल गया मैं. कंट्रोल शिफ्ट. ओके बढ़िया. आई थिंक बेसिक्स फोल्डर में ही बनाए क्या या अलग से एक फोल्डर बनाते हैं. Create a new package. What is the name of the package? Conditional and loops. Conditional loops.
Bonus of 2,000. Otherwise, give a bonus of 1,000. So this check, if this is this, do this. Otherwise, do this. This is something we can do via if statements. The syntax looks something like this. By the way, this is the way you can add multi-line comments. So just slash star star slash. Everything you add in this will be a comment. So the thing that I'm trying to show you over here is what is the syntax? How do we write a if statement? Syntax of if statements. Okay, so this is the syntax. You write if brackets Boolean expression, so either true or false. It should be like true or false. Okay, and then the body, whatever you want to do in it. Okay, so if this condition is true, do this, and then there's another condition called else, do this. Okay, for example, I can say something like int salary is equal to something like this. Then I can say if brackets I need a true or false expression, a statement that will give me either true or false. So I can say if salary is greater than 10,000, so this will definitely give me true or false. Salary will either be greater than 10,000 or less than 10,000. This will give me either true or false. I can say salary is equal to salary plus 2,000 rupees. Otherwise, salary is equal to salary plus 1,000 rupees. And then in the end, I can just say print the new salary. This one is definitely greater than 10,000, so it will be 226,400 because salary, sorry, 227,400 because greater than 10,000. It will do this. So in if and else condition, only one of these are going to run. Only one of these are going to run. You can put a debug pointer here, try to debug this program, and you can see line by line how these things are working. 10,000, 1,000. Okay. We'll have 2, 1. we will actually be, let's say, creating a calculator app program, okay, in this session only. So that is going to be a very nice hands-on experience. So I'm going to say conditionals, file name conditionals, another file name I'm going to create loops. All right, so we have scanner. I can say input is equal to new question is 1, like no 1 to 10, while they like seeing like this. So you have your int. So initialize a number, for loop runs, I will just print the number. Let's try to run this and then I'll explain how this is working. 1 2 3 4 5. Let's see how this is working then. It will scale to 5, will have the check. It not similar to n in let's say something like this. Okay, 10 times. While loops. Syntax is something like this. Syntax is something like this. So you have the while loop condition over here. You write while, then you write the condition, and then body. That's it. That is it. Let's try to convert this program of 1 to 5 numbers into a while loop. So I can say int num is equal to 1. So basically I'm converting this program into a while loop. So that is why you will be able to see the reference, like how this is getting converted to a while loop. Basically the for loop we wrote before, we are converting it into a while loop. So I can say while. So basically the initialization part, I'll just copy paste this for reference. So for the initialization part, that will come outside the while loop. This condition will now come inside the while loop. This body will come inside the body of the while loop. And this increment thing will also come inside the body of the while loop. That's it. Let me try to hide this thing. Let's try to run this. Oh, it's actually asking for an input. Let me also hide that. 1 to 5. 1 2 3 4 5. How this is working? Let's see. Debugging. So here, okay. So here it's saying num value is 1 and initialize that. Okay. So num is initialized to 1. Is 1 less than equal to 5? It's saying it's true. Hence it will go inside this while loop. It will print 1 and then it will increment the value of 1 by like plus 1 to it. It will now become 2. That's true. Num becomes 2. Is 2 less than equal to 5? Yes, it is. Print 2 and make it 3. 3 less than equal to 5. Print 3, make it 4. Make it 5. Make it 6. Is 6 less than equal to 5? No. Hence it will not go inside the while loop. It will exit out of the while loop. Program over. Okay. So that's the while loop. Now the question you may ask yourself is, how do we know when we need to use the while loop, when we need to use the for loop? You can use both of these anytime you want. Okay. It's totally up to your preference. One of the things that I would recommend, like something that why these two exist, is because you need to run a while loop when you don't know how many times the loop is going to run, and use a for loop when you know how many times the loop is going to run. If the question is something like print the first 10 numbers, then you will use a for loop. If the question is something like keep taking input from a user till the user does not press X, here do you know how many times the loop will run? No, depends on the user. Till the user will not press an X, that many times of amount like the loop will running. So in that case, use a while loop. One more loop is there known as a do while loop. Okay, let's see. So the next one is a do while loop. Syntax is something like this. Do this thing while condition. Okay, let's try it out. I'll also explain the difference between okay, so let's say we take int n is equal to 1. I can say do print n and n plus plus while n is less than equal to 5. I'll explain what the difference is, don't worry. I think it's pretty obvious what it's doing. 1 2 3 4 5. Why would we want to use a do while loop and when would we want to use a while loop? That is another good question. Let me just write the body syntax over here. Okay. So do while and the do while loop and the while loop have one difference in it. In the do while loop, the program is going to execute, the loop is going to execute at least once. At least once it will execute. So it will execute at least once. So for example, if I write something like, let's say I remove this thing, all these things, and I just write print hello world, and here I write while n is not equal to 1. So here, even though n is equal to 1, this should not execute, but it will, because first it will execute the body, then it will make the checks. So basically the idea is it will execute at least once, and after that it will only execute when this while condition is true. After that, so once it will always execute. Let's try it out. Prints hello world. So basically this is what happened. N is equal to 1. It will do this thing first. It will print hello world. After that it will check that again, if you want to run this loop, this condition should follow while n is not equal to 1. It will say n is equal to 1, hence loop will end. Okay, so in cases in which you definitely have to have one time the loop running, in that case you can use a do while loop. For example, if you want to say take input of so many numbers till the user inputs some other value like x or something. Okay, in that case, once the value will obviously be input, right? The value will always be there like for the very first time, that you can use a do while loop. Now let's try to solve some questions over here, because questions are important in order to understand how these things are working internally. So let's say we create a question like largest. So you will be giving 3 numbers, and let's say public static void main scanner input is equal to new scanner system dot in. So basically you are going to input 3 numbers. Okay, so I can say a, b and c. Int a is equal to in dot next int b is equal to in dot next int c is equal to in dot next int. 3 numbers are here. Question is, find the largest of the 3 numbers. How do we do that?
So why do you think we should hire you as a manager?
I think I'm the best candidate for this.
So let's look.
Wait, पानी लेके आता हूँ. Back.
Look at how we are going to solve this problem. You can also create a flowchart for it if you like. But imagine that you have the largest maximum. I'm going to check this, out and my max. See, here you can see 2 quote A. Then I can say, otherwise I can say if, let's say, C is greater than maximum, max is equal to C, and then our output say maximum. Let's give it 3 numbers, 10, 20, 30. 30 is the maximum one. Let's give it something else. 56, 12, 79. 79 is the maximum one. 33, 789, 65, 789 is the maximum one. That is what is happening. It's saying initially, let's say it will say, let's try to run this code only, debug it, and maximum 3 anymore. No, it's cute stuff. One problem. Okay, they say initially, I can say if A is greater than B, max is equal to A, otherwise max is equal to B. So now in this maximum value, it will actually store either A or B, and in the next line you can say if C is greater than max, max is equal to C. Same thing, max class has something like this. So if I comment this out, you can say my int max is equal to math.max A and B. You can do. So basically math, the math class, it's actually trying to suggest us, IntelliJ is saying you can optimize this loop. You can use a maximum, the math.max call. That is also something you can do. So basically math, the math class has something like this. So if I comment this out, you can say my int max is equal to math.max A and B. So it's basically going to return the maximum value from these two. Okay, so this is going to contain the maximum value of these two, and I can again pass this in math.max for C. Okay, so this is basically saying, basically if I do math.max,
Interesting.
let's say 34 and 57, so it's going to print 57. Let me comment this out. It will give an error because did not comment out this thing. Now it should run 57. That is what math.max is doing. Okay, if I replace this with my variable max, take the inputs. Now let's try to run this. If I give 3 numbers, 10, 30, 27, it will print 30. Why? Because it is first going to say math.max of 27 and whatever the maximum value is of 10 and 30. So it's going to be like math.max of 27 comma 30 means 30. That's my answer. And see scanner, check, static void main, and here I can see scanner input is equal to new scanner system.in. Let's take a character input. There is no such thing as in.nextchar. So for that, we're going to have to take a string input and take the first letter of it. Okay. So that's the way to take characters. Sorry. Char ch is equal to in.next.trim.char at 0. What am I doing over here? Trim basically means that I'll just hide this for now. Let's say I say print in.next. This is just going to print the next word. So if I just run this, it's just going to print the next word. Okay, it will take the next word over here and it will print it in this function only. So I can say
Correct.
hello, so it will print hello. Nothing new over here. What is dot trim? Dot trim basically means remove all the extra spaces that are at the end of these words. So I can say if I take next for let's say if I do trim over here. Now let's say if I print it. Let me do a space. Hello. So you can see extra space was removed. Okay, because that's not what we want. We basically want that, okay, we are going to be inputting a number like a character basically, not a number. So I can say I'm going to be inputting k. So this k is actually a string input. You cannot take like a char input. It will convert it into char when you use this method called char at 0. Don't worry about this right now because string is a separate module of this course. So we'll look into it later on, like what is a char at and everything. But in short, if you want to understand, it's not that complicated. This is a string. Char at basically means give me the character at this index of the string. String, you can imagine it as a character array. Array is actually the next topic, so it will be much more clearer then. But in arrays, index starts from 0. So if I'm saying something like hello, okay. So if I'm saying, let's say, string word is equal to something like hello, and then I print word dot char at 0. This is going to print which is the character at this word's 0th index. H, it will print H. H, which is the character at index number 2. So 0, 1, 2. L, it will print L. Okay. So this char at is actually returning a character type. You can see over here, character type. Okay. So if it is returning a character type, then we already have learned about data, data types. So I can store it in a character type. That's why it's working. Now I will input a character and it will be stored in the ch. Input, let's say L, type character. Question is, you need to check whether this is lowercase or uppercase. So the ch and everything you can use like the ASCII values and stuff, but we can also do something like if, because since it's a character, I can directly compare it with the values of lowercase a and lowercase z if it lies in the range of that, because in the type section we saw that it actually converts it into like checks when integers. So we already saw that. If you haven't, check out the link in the description below. We have an entire session on that, on types and everything and how these compare. If this is greater than equal to a and ch is less than equal to z. Basically this is something we did not cover before. And so basically if you want to add two conditions, like both of these conditions need to be true, you can use the and operator. Okay, so it will only be true if this is true and this is true. Okay, if we go into our conditionals again, and if I just hide this thing, so you can see multiple. I can say if let's say int a is equal to 10 and int b is equal to or basically means either one of these should be true. So if I make this one false, so even though a is equal to 10, b is not equal to 20, it will still run because this is or, means any one of these to be true. We will do this in detail when we do bitwise operators. Okay, these are bitwise operators. And or a not equal to 35. Print this. Is a equal to 35? No, it's not. If we are adding small a and small z, I can say print lowercase. Otherwise, I can say print uppercase. Let's try to run this program. Can add any number, any letter, h, lowercase h. If I add something like capital H, uppercase, simple stuff. All right, cool.
Let me write this. Case check. इसके अंदर है क्या? नहीं, let us do it. So new class case check. Oops. There we go. Public static void main. Then scanner. Scanner s is equals to new scanner system dot in. Oh. All right. A ch equals to s next trim that at 0th. Correct. We are if ch equals it's greater than equal to a and ch oops yeah see then we can say that lowercase else interesting. Must.
Let's move on to the next question. Now let's look into another problem, which is the Fibonacci problem. So what are Fibonacci numbers? Fibonacci numbers are basically, let's say they start by 0 and 1, starts from 0 and 1. Let's say the 0th Fibonacci number, first Fibonacci.
तो हमने कर लिया.
From artificial neural networks to linear regression to random forest algorithms, they have made machine learning a game changer for the
While loop is when the code is looking cleaner. Sometimes the code will look much more cleaner when you're using, let's say, a while loop over a for loop. So here in this case, I'll just add a scanner class is equal to new. We need to basically, the answer in the end is going to lie in the nth Fibonacci number, right? So that will be very variable. That is what we're going to do over here. Okay. So if I have something like this, I can say that that's it. That's my Fibonacci number. If you don't want to like do this is in stuff, so I can say this is a. Or I can just write it in the format of which we wrote in the program as well. So I can say this is, let's say, my a. Just renaming it to b. Okay. So here I'm saying basically if you want to say next is equal to b plus a. Okay. So the third Fibonacci number, it will be 1 plus 0, and then I'm just updating the values. The a is going to become b, that is true, because temp actually stores the value of b. Why have I taken temp? Because if I do a is equal to b over here, this will not this value. We would in the end, sixth Fibonacci number should give me 8. We're getting 8. Okay, cool.
What?
That is pretty much about it, and we will learn more about like the time complexity and everything when we actually do time complexity. We'll also solve this in many other ways. I'll also teach you how to find the Fibonacci, nth Fibonacci number. There's a number given to you. Let's say number n is equal to 1, 3, 8, 5, 7, 5. This is a number given to you. Okay. There's a number given to you. Let's say number n is equal to 1, 3, 8, 5, 7, 5. 7879. This is a number given to you. Okay, and you basically need to find how many times the number 7 is occurring in this number. So the answer should be 3. How do we do this problem? Pause this video and then figure it out, and now we'll look into the solution. Okay, so basically the idea to do this thing is whenever you get such questions where you actually have to deal with individual digits, you are going to have to check individual digits for obvious reasons, because you are checking individual digits. Now how can we get individual digits from this? There can be many ways. You can convert this entire data type to a string data type, and then you can iterate upon it. Or you can do something much more simpler. If you take the remainder of any number by 10, you are actually going to get the last value. You're getting the last value. Let's check it out. If I say, let's say n is equal to 1389, and if I divide it by 10, so I can say 1389 divided by 10, so I can say 10 into 138 gives me 1380, remainder is 9. Isn't this same as the last digit? Hence, n modulo 10 is going to give you the last digit. Remainder of that number with 10 will give you the last digit. So here we can do something like, if I try to take a smaller example in order to make things clear. So I can say, let's say n is equal to 13839. Count the number of threes. Okay, so in this case the answer should be 2. Let's try to see this, how this works. So basically I'm going to say, while n is greater than 0, I can say my remainder is going to be equal to n divided by 10. Then I'm going to check, this is actually the last digit. Okay, so I'll check, is my remainder equal to 3? If it is, then I'll say count plus plus. Let's say initially count is equal to 0. Okay, and in any case, I'm just then going to reduce this number as well. So for example, I have something like n is equal to 13839. Remainder will be, let's say, 9. Now I need to actually remove this 9 from this number as well, right? Because then I will check for this thing, 1383. How do I do this? I can just say n is equal to n divided by 10. That is true, because if 13839 I divided by 10, it will give me 1383. Okay, then for 1383 I will check modulo 10 is this. So basically this is what I'm doing. Basically it will say 1383 9, it will say modulo 10 going to give me 9, and let's take a count over here. So count initially 0. Is 9 equal to 3? No, it's not. Then I'm just going to not increment the count variable, and I'm just going to divide it by 10. So now if I divide it by 10, this will be 1383 now. Remainder of 10 will give me 3. 3 equal to 3, yes, count will be 1. This will be now reduced to 138. Remainder is 8. Nope, it will now reduce to 13. Last digit, remainder 3. Yep, count and reduce to 2. This will be 1. Last digit 1 equal to 3. No, it's not. It will then be again reduced to 0, because 1 divided by 10 will give me 0 in the integer. So since we're storing it in integer, it will be like, let's say 0.1. Points will be cancelled out, only 0 will be there. While n is greater than 0 is the condition, hence this will terminate and our answer will be available to us. I can say n is equal to n divided by 10. That is it. Let's try to code this solution. So if we're trying to code this solution, we can also do some really optimized things like bit masking and shift operators and everything. We'll do that. We'll do same questions later on. Count nums. Public static void main. I'm not taking a, let's say I'm not taking an input. I can just say 4553536 or whatever. Then I can say while n is greater than 0, similarly the same thing we did in the previous, and the drawing part. I can say my count is equal to 0 initially. In the end, my answer is going to be equal to what? Count. And here I'm just going to say int remainder is equal to n modulo 10. If remainder is equal to 5, count plus plus, n is equal to n modulo, or n divided by 10. You can also write something like this to make it shorter. Has 2 5s, so answer should be 2. That is correct. Let's add one more 5 over here. Answer should be 3. Let's add no 5s over here. Answer should be 0. 0. Okay, so very simple solution. And now let's look into the next problem. Now let's try to do another important question. Let's say you are given Answer should
We'll also do this. Count number of, yeah, count numbers. Okay. Count numbers. All right. PSVM and scanner. No, civil int direct. Int is equals to 3. Okay, 3 आ गया 2 बार. Oh, what is it? क्या दिक्कत है? ओह फक, क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं चुतिया ऐसा? Int num is equals to fuck. Int num. अब क्या करने का? ये क्या हो रहा है? नहीं चलेगा, मेरे को चाहिए यही. हाँ ठीक है. So while num is greater than 0, hmm, hmm, if पहले रिमाइंडर निकालते हैं ना, रिमाइंडर इक्वल टू, ओके, int rim equal to num modulo 10 direct if rem equal to int int key 2 equal to key. इसने क्या किया? रुक, ये क्या दिखा रहा है? कर देंगे काउंट प्लस प्लस, फिर कर देंगे num equals to num divided by 10. बढ़िया.
Answer should be 3. Let's add no 5s over here. Answer should be 0. 0. Okay, so very simple solution. And now let's look into that number. Let's try to do another important question. Let's say you are given a number that is, let's say, question that number is given to you that says the number is 23597. The answer should be the reverse of this number. So the answer should be 79532. Pause this video, think about it, and it's going to use the same remainder approach, and then watch the rest of the video to get the answer. Okay, I hope you tried it out, and let's see how we're going to do this. So basically the idea is the same while loop that we used before. We're going to use the same thing. So basically I'm going to say that my result initially is equal to 0. Before I write the code, let me show you how it's going to work. So basically the idea is I'm going to take the remainder every time while the number is greater than 0. I'm going to take the remainder. I'm going to add it in my answer. So initially, let's say the answer is 0.
दो views. Oh my god. 1 impression आया है. 100% click through rate bro. कितना टाइम देखा उसने ब्रो? One minute 51 seconds. कभी आया भाई ये लड़का? Audience. When did he come? Okay. अच्छा वो दो हम ही है लगता है, क्योंकि एक मैं एक इससे.
Okay, and my number, like the entire thing, is over here 23579. When I take the remainder for the very first time, my remainder will be 7. I'll add it to my answer. Answer will become 7. Very first, my number, and that problem. Now let's try to do another important question. The reverse of this number. So the answer should be 79532. Pause this video, think about it, and it's going to use the same remainder approach, and then watch the rest of the video to get the answer. Okay, I hope you tried it out, and let's see how we're going to do this. So basically the idea is the same while loop that we used before. We're going to use the same thing. So basically I'm going to say that my result initially is equal to 0. Before I write the code, let me show you how it's going to work. So basically the idea is I'm going to take the remainder every time while the number is greater than 0. I'm going to take the remainder. I'm going to add it in my answer. So initially, let's say the answer is 0. Okay, and my number, like the entire thing, is over here 23579. When I take the remainder for the very first time, my remainder will be 7. I'll add it to my answer. Answer will become 7. Okay, then I'll take the remainder again. It will now be 9. Before adding, this is the same thing we were doing previously. Only one extra step is needed. When you are adding this number in your answer, make sure you have to basically add the number in your answer so that it should be like 79 over here, right? So basically you need to shift this 7 towards the right, so towards the left. So what you need to do is, you have, let's say, 7 over here. Okay, and you have 9 over here that needs to come over here now. How do we make sure 9 comes over here? We can just basically, can we not do, if I do something like 7 into 10 plus 9, what is this going to give me? 70 plus 9, 79. Let's say I take another number 5 now. If I do again, now it's 79. So 79 into 10 plus 5, which is 795. Make sense? Then 3. So 795 into 10 plus 3, which is 7953. Then again, last remainder 2. 7953 into 10 plus 2, which is 79532. Last remainder then now be 0. Isn't this my answer? Okay, very simple solution. Same remainder, same dividing. Only thing, we are just going to multiply the answer by 10 and add the remainder in order to get the answer at that particular point. When the loop finishes, this will be my entire answer. Let's try to code this program. Okay, so let me create another file. I can say entire answer. Remainder, in order to remainder, same divide answer. Okay, so let me create another file. I can say reverse static void main int number is equal to something like this, random number. Then I'm going to say what? Int answer is equal to initially 0. In the end, I'm just going to print the answer. And same thing that we did previously, while number is greater than 0, int remainder is going to be n modulo 10, n divided by 10 equal to, not n, sorry, num modulo 10, num is then getting divided by 10 for the same reasons in the previous example, and now I'm just going to add it in my answer. So answer is equal to answer into 10 plus remainder. That is it. So simple, so simple. 97482 should be answer. 97482. How simple is this?
All right, let's try it by ourselves. Reverse okay, public static void main. Then what do we have? What do we do? We take a number which will be equal to like this. Then let's reverse it. Let's initialize rev. Let's set it to 0 while n and num is greater than 0. Integer m is equals to number modulo 10. ये हमको देगा last. ठीक है. if आएगा क्या? ये हमको last दे दिया है. तो हम num divided by 10 ये कर दिया और रेव के अंदर number into 10 no rev into 10 plus rem. Let's try it out. इसके बाद it's giving me right. एक 5 ऐड करके टेस्ट कर लेते हैं. उफ
1 2 3 4 5 6 should give me 6,54321. 6,54,312. 321. Very simple stuff.
कितना टाइम हुआ?
Okay, cool. Let's look at the last question, which is going to combine all these things together, which is known as building a calculator app. Not an app, but a program. Calculator program. So let's try to make a calculator program. So I can say calculator and then public static void main scanner in is equal to new scanner system.in. If you're just watching this video, make sure you check out the playlist. All these things have been covered over there. What is scanner and everything. Okay, so the idea is that we're going to take input from user till user does not press X or X. Okay, till that time we are going to keep taking like input from the user. First we are going to take the operation from the user and like plus minus into or divide, and whenever the user inputs X, the program will stop. So basically I can create an infinite while loop over here that while true, okay, while true char ch, take the character input, take the operator as input. So I'm just going to say char ch is equal to what, or my operation operator is equal to what, in dot next next dot trim dot char at 0. Now basically I'm just going to make a check. I'm basically going to check that if my operator is equal to you know plus or my operator is equal to minus, or my operator is equal to multiply, or my operator is equal to divide. Because if you add something as an if you add this as a character, oh, this can also be a remainder thing. So I can say, or if my operator is equal to modulo. You can also get very, but if you add something like and, that should not give you any answer, right? You're not using bitwise operators. And if you add something like dollar, okay, so what is that dollar? Dollar is nothing. So that is why we are taking only these 5 basic operators. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to input 2 numbers. Okay, so basically we're going to say int num1 is equal to int dot next int. Whenever the user inputs num1 plus num2, if operator is equal to, need to make a check that something like modulo. Say I can just add answer is equal to num1 modulo num2. Okay, now the last thing is that if this is not the case, okay, these are not the, so in that case add, so it's going to else if break the while loop, otherwise it's, let's say, not a particular operator or not a invalid operator, like numbers number 3 and 4 at every point, not yeah, this the while loop. So extra line plus star, and I add
All
6.
right. So here we are at the end of this video, and it is 3:36 AM और क्या बोलूं, बस हो गया। अब थोड़ी नींद आ रही, जैसे पढ़ने का नाम लेते से नींद आती है। नहीं तो मैं कल 5 बजे तक पोकेमॉन देख रहा था, कैन यू बिलीव इट। रोज 5 बजे तक देखता हूँ मैं, 4 साढ़े 4 बजे सोता हूँ। बट अब पढ़ने का टाइम आ रहा है तो नींद आना तो बनता है ना बॉस। तो ठीक है, अब कल हम पूरा दिन अगर भी ले लिया जाए, इसका नेक्स्ट वीडियो कौन सा है? लेट मी, आई थिंक एरे है। लेट्स जस्ट चेक इट। इट इज स्विच एंड फंक्शंस। आई थिंक we can do both of these, 10th and the 11th video, क्योंकि स्विच स्टेटमेंट मेरे को थोड़ा मालूम है, तो फिर मैं क्या भगा भगा के देखूंगा तो फटफट हो जाएगा। फंक्शंस देख लेंगे, थोड़ा क्या है, थोड़ा बहुत पता है, बट स्टिल मतलब देख लेंगे क्या है। फिर इंट्रोडक्शन टू एरे, दिस वुड बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। Linear search is very easy. Binary search questions. Oh my god. It's a 4 hour long video. Fair binary search in 2D arrays. Interesting. Bubble sorts, string, time and space, bitwise, maths, recursion, merge sort. Okay. ओके, रिकर्शन पे बहुत है, बैक ट्रैकिंग, उप्स, ये बात लिंक लिस्ट। काफी बना दिया है। बाइनरी ट्री मस्त, 3 दिन पहले आया है, 2 वीडियो छोटे छोटे डाले, बट अच्छा डाला है। अच्छा, उसको समझ गया है कि ज़्यादा व्यूज़, मतलब उसके पास कंटेंट कम हो रहा है, मे बी दैट्स व्हाई ही इज, इंस्टेड ऑफ लाइक डूइंग इट इन अ सिंगल वीडियो लाइक ही यूज्ड टू, अलग अलग डाल रहा है। आई मीन इट्स फाइन, ठीक है। ऑल राइट, सो कल हम करेंगे ये सारे प्रोग्राम्स, मे बी जो रिडंडेंट प्रोग्राम है जिसमें इतना ब्रेनस्टॉर्म नहीं करना पड़ेगा, लाइक दिस, बिकॉज मतलब दिस आर डिफरेंट मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूलाज बट द अप्रोच इज़ वेरी सिमिलर, सो नहीं करेंगे ये। सब नहीं करेंगे, एटलीस्ट विल डू 2 ऑफ इट, लाइक प्रोग्राम ऑफ सर्कल और पैरेललोग्राम और रोम्बस, दोनों में से एक कुछ। पेरीमीटर, उसका भी एक फॉर्मूला, मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला होगा जो मेरे को ऑब्वियसली नहीं आता है मेरे को। चलो लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट। एंड ठीक है, ये सब थोड़ा कर लेंगे, देखते हैं क्या है, कल का कल ही देखेंगे। दिस ऑल आर बेसिक्स, सो आई थिंक ये इतना प्रॉब्लमेटिक नहीं होना चाहिए हमारे लिए। बेइज्जती तो बिल्कुल नहीं करना चाहिए इसमें। मैं subtract the product and sum of digits of a integer। अरे, खुलता है ये? ओह, लीड कोड मतलब अगर इसमें हमने किया तो ये वाला सॉल्व होगा। डैम, इंटरेस्टिंग। ठीक है, input a number and print all factors, use loops। इसका भी फॉर्मूला देखना पड़ेगा, ऑफ टू फैक्टर्स कैसे निकालते हैं। ठीक है, take input still user I think this will be very addition of two numbers, come on, grow up। factorial, electricity bill, average of n numbers, power in Java, check leap year or not। I think this leap year or not is very frequently asked in like software developing interviews। like मेरे को तो कभी नहीं पर्सनली पूछा गया, बट आई व्हेन आई वाज इन 4th ईयर मैं मेरे दूसरे acquaintances से बात करता था, तो they have mentioned a couple of times that they have been asked to write a code to check if a year is a leap year or not। Sum of digits of number, this is again very redundant। Kunal is allowed to go out with his friends only on the even days of the month। Write a program to count the number of days he can go out in the month of August। देखना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो लास्ट में चैट जीपीटी तो है ही, उसको पूछ के देख लेंगे कैसे होता है। अब write a program to print the sum of negative numbers, sum of positive even numbers। देखेंगे क्या है, intermediate। all right, what do we have next? functions are direct। we find two methods to print maximum and minimum number respectively। ठीक है, आई थिंक ये करना चाहिए हमको सब। there will be 14 questions, great। ये arrays वाला it is not as easy, but ठीक है, we'll give it a try। okay, चलो then। I don't think कोई अपनी स्ट्रीम पे आया है आज। it's just me with me and okay, let's sign off। so I'll give a pat on my back again to like push myself। and रात के 2 बजे रात के 2:30 बजे, 2:30 बजे, क्या बोलता है, 2:30 बोलता है ना, 1:30 2:30 बोलता है, करेक्ट। रात के 2:30 बजे मैंने खुद का एस को लगाया कि ये, तो आई थिंक आई डिजर्व अ क्लैप। एंड लेट्स साइन ऑफ, शैल वी। अब मिलते हैं कल। टुमारो इज फ्राइडे पुत्ती, सॉरी सेंसर। और कल एक्चुअली फ्राइडे है तो थोड़ा अच्छा मूड रहता है, मतलब काम के लिए भी ना, ऐसा थोड़ा अच्छा रहता है कि चल सैटरडे संडे ऑफ है। और कल थोड़ा पेंडिंग वर्क मेरा पड़ा है। आज मैं थोड़ा आलस कर गया था। वर्क के टाइम पे मैं 1 बजे का लॉगिन रहता है और मैं 3 बजे तक सो ही रहा था। वो तो मेरी मम्मी ने उठा दिया मुझे खाना खाने के लिए। तो फिर बाद में 5 o'clock का एक स्क्रम स्क्रम नहीं, एक डेवलपमेंट मीट था। उसमें मेरा जो एक कलीग है उसको असाइन हो गया एक टास्क, तो अब मुझे थोड़ा वो कंप्लीट करना है। और आज मेरे पास 8 से 10 के बीच में भी 2 घंटे थे, बट मैंने टाइम पास ही कर दिया। तो वो पेंडिंग वर्क मुझे कल करना पड़ेगा थोड़ा। और देखते हैं कल क्या नया कुछ आता है। आई होप कल का दिन थोड़ा पीसफुल हो वर्क वाइज, और कुछ हो ना अप माई एस। एंड लेट्स सी यू टुमारो इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो, डे 3 और डे 2 एक्चुअली। साइनिंग ऑफ, सायोना।